Before we dive into today's show, I want to tell you about an amazing event that I am hosting at my house here in San Diego. It is called Uplevel Your Health in 2026. Yes, my friend, this event is for women only who want to take their health to the next level, whether that's drinking less, developing healthy habits, changing their body composition, or fueling for fuel. I want to help you make this process fun, enjoyable, and full with ease. Yes, this doesn't have to be hard. This doesn't have to be complicated. And we just really want to come together as a community of women who are wanting better for their health in 2026. So I want to support you with that. This is a night that's going to be held on January 29th at my house from 6 to 8 p.m. So it's a Thursday night at my house, 6 to 8 p.m. I'm going to be offering delicious dinner together that we get to share. We're going to have games, we're going to have door prizes, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun leveling up our health this year in the year of 2026. So how do you sign up? Well, there are two ways. You can go to my Instagram account, which is Dr. Sherry Price. You can go there, you click my bio, and there is a link there that you can sign up directly. Or you can send me an email and I can send you details on how to sign up and all the information. And once you sign up, then you will get the directions and how the night will be broken down and how to get here. So, two ways to sign up: through my Instagram page, or you can shoot me an email. And my email is sherry@sherryprice.com. Sherry is spelled Sherry and sherryprice.com. And I hope to see you there. Hello, friend. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. Today, I have Melissa Oliveira joining us. She is the co-founder of Hot Pause Health, a menopause marketplace that curates products, providers, and programs for women in perimenopause and menopause. Hot Pause Health supports women in midlife with resources, research, and information to empower their midlife journeys. Today, Melissa and I get into some fun topics, talking about what to expect as we go through this transition as women. Also, of an important topic of what causes the midlife weight gain and how to combat it. And I bet you won't be surprised to hear that it's not just one thing. So, without further ado, please enjoy my discussion with Melissa. Well, hello, my beautiful friend, and welcome back to another episode of Health Habits and Epic Living. Today, I'm super excited to reconnect with my friend Melissa and have her join us on the show. She is the co-founder of Hot Pause Health, and we'll talk more about that as we get into it. But welcome to the show, Melissa. So excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Sherry. I'm so excited to, first of all, see your face again, and then secondly, to just be here in your presence and energy.
Yeah. Yeah, wow, that's beautiful. And just for the listener, we had met at the M Factor screening or showing in San Diego, stopped by and chatted with you, and we just kept chatting and chatting and chatting. There's so much like energy between us. So this is going to be a great conversation. And where I want to start is, we're in this space of perimenopause and menopause. And so talking about these issues is kind of like our jam, right? This is like what lights us up. We could talk about it all day. And I find that for some women, it's still this like, I don't know if I want to say taboo topic or this like uncomfortable topic. I have a couple of friends that say, oh, when you just say that word menopause or when you just say that word midlife, it makes me cringe.
Yeah.
And I think there might be this like societal pressure for women to stay young, be on the youthful side, and anything that kind of has this connotation with midlife or the change or going through the change or the transition has this like wah feeling to it.
Yeah.
And it makes people want to not embrace this. And I know this is something you and I come at as like, this is a beautiful, beautiful thing women get to go through. And so I'd like just to have your perspective, since you are so in this space, talking to women all the time as we go through perimenopause and menopause. How do you frame it for women?
I think, yes to everything you just said. I find that language matters. Meaning, if you start perimenopause or midlife and you start to not feel yourself and the ground starts to feel not terra firma and you're not in control and things start to feel weird and you feel weird, or you have anxiety, or your hair is falling out, you genuinely don't feel good about yourself, but you also don't know what's happening. And oftentimes we think that that's something that we have done or not done, and there's blame and shame. And so I think so much of this conversation for myself as a co-founder and Stacey as, a co-founder of Popeyes Health is empowering women with information, education, and ultimately language to say, wow, that 15 pounds that I put on is not my fault because I don't have control, or, I'm eating too much, or I'm a glutton. No, it's that your estrogen has changed and your progesterone has changed and your body is moving and there's visceral fat. And actually, this is not your fault, but hey, you need to really pay attention to your body because you are a queen. And let's start to unpack that. Or, oh my God, my hair's falling out and I don't know what's happening. And I feel yucky and I feel ugly. And, one of the examples that not examples, but kind of a telltale is one of our med advisors, Dr. Marissa Chapman, who's a dermatologist board certified in Minneapolis. When she has patients who come in and they say that hair and hair loss is what they want to talk about, she doubles the time of the appointment because she knows there's going to be so much sadness and so many tears because of that connection. If women don't know what's wrong with them, if they don't know this is absolutely happening because two of their organs, their ovaries, are the first to fail and it's not their fault, then of course she's going to be sad or have blame or shame. And so I think so much of taking back this back third of your life, this beautiful third, 30% of your life, is reframing that narrative to say, I have organ failure. Instead of them being reproductive organs, these are endocrine organs and they're shutting down. Therefore, how do I treat my body and put language to all these symptoms that I'm having? And we'll talk about those later, but empowering her to say, there's a lot I can do. This is going to be amazing. And I want to live differently. And I'm in charge of that. I might not be in charge of my organ shutting down, but I can be in charge of how I proceed for the last third of my life. So I think blame and shame to me are darkness words. And when you move into the light or you move into empowerment, so much of that comes with language and understanding and putting words to things that you don't even understand or know, right? So
Yeah, beautifully said. And as you're describing those, I'm like, yes, my hair is thinning and falling out. What's the name of that person? And the anxiety. Like I just started noticing symptoms in my own transition. Even before I started noticing my period getting wonky, my body, my period was fine. And it's just my body was experiencing these changes. And I'm like, wait, I'm not doing anything different. I'm not supplementing any different. I'm not eating any different. Nothing is different in that regard. But yet I was feeling so different. And the mood swings, the yes, yes, it's a great day. And then no, it's not a great day. And like we were talking before we started recording, 25% of women are on an SSRI because the depression and the moodiness and the sadness, it's like it just hits you out of nowhere.
I mean, and I would say it's particularly women between the ages of 40 and 59 are the highest sex age ratio of any other cohort in this country.
Wow.
More than anybody. So that's the difference. It's like, it's not, 18-year-old boys. It's 47-year-old women who are like, I'm really sad. And
Yeah.
that's not okay. I mean, there's a sadness epidemic. There's a loneliness epidemic. And so I think awareness is the beginning and
Mhm.
can help you find that path forward and have a forward facing approach as opposed to, stuck or sedentary and being like, there's a lot that's in my control. And that feels good. When
Right.
action becomes the antidote to anxiety, that is really helpful and powerful. We did a survey this summer with our community, and the number one mental health symptom that women had was anxiety. It was over 80% of our community was like, I'm suffering from anxiety. It was their number one. And that's telling. Like, and you might have never had it in your whole life. You're like, oh, I was cruising. That was like in my jam. And you're like, wait, what is this feeling? That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely am part of that 80%. I know. Yeah. It just came from nowhere. And you're like, wait, what's causing this? My life is great. And all of a sudden, why do I feel so differently about it?
Yeah.
So we could talk about, how you would help somebody with the anxiety and so forth. But like what other symptoms? Because I want people to, and I want the women particularly listening, and if there's men listening, help their wives, help their, women out there in this age category who, they're cruising at life, they're just doing it all, and estrogen is queen. And when that's rocking and rolling, we're rocking and rolling. And when that starts to go a little wonky, it's this hormonal imbalance, right? That's going to be causing a lot of the symptoms. I know one of my girlfriends got ringing in her ear, the tinnitus, and that is significant and more prevalent than what I had previously thought. So I'd love just to uncover and talk about some of these perimenopause, menopausal transition symptoms that may arise for women. Because I think women hear the common three, right? We hear all the common three of the hot flashes, night sweats, and I'm forgetting, vaginal dryness. We've heard about those three, but there's just so many more that I want women to be attuned to. So if their body is starting to have these manifestations, that they don't feel like they're alone or going crazy and it's just them.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't even tell you the number of friends who have called me or texted me saying, Melissa, I never would have known that this was a perimenopausal symptom. I would have just thought that I was nuts or something was wrong with me. And it's not true. Yes, the tip of the iceberg, I mean, pun intended, hot flashes, night sweats, those come early. Over 80% of women have them. Very, very common. They are a vasomotor symptom that many, many women experience. But truly, there's so many more. Migraines. Fatigue is a huge one. That was a really, really big one that came up in our survey. Women are exhausted and out of nowhere, like not just tired, but constant fatigue. Hair loss, I think we mentioned that. Think about your skin as your largest organ. And, Dr. Price talked about vaginal dryness. Your face, every single part of your body is drying up. And it's because of your estrogen decrease is impacting your collagen production, your elasticity, those sorts of things. So it's on the outside and the inside. A lot of women have that. I would say the weird ones, to your friend's point, tinnitus, but also vertigo, a really, really big one. Debilitating. A woman in our community, actually a couple of them, have been to ENTs who put them through all of these rigmaroles. And it turned out it was just like, yeah, just get an estrogen patch and some progesterone. And I mean, I'm not saying it's that easy, but the ENTs had no connection to vertigo being related to the perimenopausal transition. So absolutely, if you that, which can be debilitating. I mean, people can't leave their bed for,
Yeah.
days at a time. I would also say sleep is a really important one. I think sleep is going to be, I'm saying it now, I'm calling it 2026 is going to be the year of sleep medicine for women. I think we're going to start to see a lot more information about the relationship. Again, sleep, stress, weight gain, all of that is related to your body's ability to repair and recuperate. We have to sleep. And so I think women's sleep disturbances, things like, I mean, raise your hand if your husband has a CPAP machine. Yeah, okay. I think more women have sleep apnea. I think it presents differently. Oftentimes it's not caught in an at-home sleep test. I think that we're going to start to see that more and more because it is truly a foundational piece of the midlife puzzle, if you will, is sleep health. So I would say that those, I mean, there's so many. And it's actually the place on our website that most women come to. Like when you look at hotpaushealth.com, they're going to symptoms because she doesn't even know what she's going through. And so giving her, again, that empowerment is really, really important. Bloating is another one that comes up a lot. You just feel puffed out. It's not just the weight gain, but the puffiness of your midline. So there's so many.
There are. I even heard of like frozen shoulders, a big
Yes.
one too. Yeah. And they just occur out of the blue.
Right.
I had a girlfriend who called me and said, she was like literally in tears when I answered the phone. She's like, I don't know what's happening to me. I'm so sad. And I've been this way for like a week. And I think it might be my hormones.
You're like, ding, ding,
Like,
ding.
I have been listening to your podcast and, I'm like, it's not happening to me. It's not none of this. And then all of a sudden it's like here and I don't want to do my job. I think I should quit. Like you have some really big decisions that people like, oh, I've always been, this person and in this line of work. And then all of a sudden all of that feels like meaningless or you just want to cut off from it. And I just really want people who experience this or yet to experience this, like to really know that you're not crazy and really just to reach out for help. And I love, Hot Paws Health and your mission and all the women in this space and how they're bringing more attention to this even at the FDA level, getting labeling changes for some products to make them safer because we know that they're safe and to get rid of all these misconceptions and these fears that we've had for years that really aren't predicated on any solid data.
Well, I mean, I was listening to Dr. Cheryl Malone the other day, who's been practicing medicine for quite some time.
Yeah.
And she's been prescribing hormone therapy since before there was a black box warning on it. I mean,
Yes. Yes.
we've just come full circle here,
Right.
which, I think we oftentimes hear in our community as well. And it's not to say that it should be not talked about in the sense that, that women shouldn't ask questions. You should always ask questions. There's no stupid question, etc. But so many women have misinformation, disinformation about menopause hormone therapy or HRT, hormone replacement therapy. And we often say, like, your body's making it. You're just making it. You already have it in your body. This is not a drug that you're giving yourself that's made up or somehow we fabricated this. It's something that again, think about organ failure and replace that language of reproductive organ with endocrine organ. You don't want your endocrine organs to shut down. We're just outliving life expectancy in a way that hundreds of years ago we just died. So we didn't ever experience or live with organ failure as we are now.
Exactly.
I think, when you think about symptoms, there are symptoms that are obvious, and then there are symptoms that are not obvious. Think about osteoporosis or osteopenia.
Mm-hmm.
And, I have a friend who at 45 fractured her ankle out of nowhere. She was doing nothing. And it turns out she is on the road to some pretty significant bone loss. That's not good. You don't want bone loss. And so getting ahead of that at 45 years old so that when you're 85, you have really strong bones, that matters. That's not about vanity or, you thinking that you want to have hormone therapy or X, Y, or Z, or that you want to work out or you want to do strength training. That's not vanity. That's vitality. So that at 85, you're not breaking your hip. So I think that there's a reframe there that women are like, well, I don't know if I have time to. They're like, you have time.
Yes. Yeah.
You have time to work out or
Yeah.
lift weights or prioritize yourself. It's really important.
And to be educated is so important because you are empowered. Like at 45, they're not doing bone scans, they're not doing DEXAs for people. I know when I went and requested my first DEXA, the physician's like, you're a little young. And I said, but I've never had one and I want a baseline. And how do I know what my bones are like without this? And when it came back, I had osteopenia, for as young, quote unquote, I am. Now this gives me more data to get myself and do the habits that are really going to make an impact on building bone so that you're right. I'm not at 70 and 80 and going, why am I fracturing? Why am I fracturing? And then, when you fracture at that age, it's more catastrophic.
And I think that this is where I get a little fired up and ripped when it comes to our healthcare system in general, which is to say a DEXA scan should be covered.
Yeah.
It should be baseline. It should be part of proactive prevention so that you do not end up in assisted living, so that you are healthy and have vital, and that you aren't living in chronic illness or pain or disease. There is such a difference between walking in at 45 and getting ahead of your osteopenia and osteoporosis as opposed to what it will look like inevitably. I mean, there's no question medically what you will look like at 70.
Right. We know the data shows, right? Your bone will continue to decline and not build.
But you can do so much about it proactively.
Yes.
Why aren't we giving women the power to live stronger, more vital lives? Like, that's what really chaps me. Just a little.
No, I'm so with you because I feel, let's say the word is feisty when I go in an appointment where it's the traditional Western care covered by insurance. If you go to concierge, I think there's a different level of medicine being practiced that's more preventative. But depending where you go for your care, you really have to be knowledgeable. And that's not to say the person you're seeing isn't knowledgeable. It's just that their lens may be through what's urgent and what's going to kill you today, right? Because that's kind of how they're trained to think, like, what are the obvious big things going on here? And if they're not obvious and big, and they're not really focused on prevention and all the little details, which aren't so little, because they could have a massive impact later on, right? And so I think it's so wise now to be your own advocate, and so important because we only know what we know. And I know my role going in is to serve my health. And if I can help somebody understand what's important to me, the data that I've done, the data that I've read, I actually come with the research articles in my hand just
Mhm.
to, educate if they're open minded and have the time to say, oh, I could see what this study shows, because I think it benefits all of us. Because if I can help one person understand to get ahead of this, and how to build bone, right? Hopefully that doctor goes on to treat other people in a similar fashion.
Yeah. I mean, I think to your point, one, don't ask, tell them. You're in charge. It's your body. They're not in charge of your body. You're in charge of your body. And say, I would like X. I would like to explore X. I mean, whatever that may be. That could be tests, that could be therapies. If you want to look at menopause hormone therapy, the number of women that we have who come and say, I've had so many doctors tell me it's too early. Finding a doctor, if they put
Yes.
that barrier and they are refusing to give you the care that you would like to explore, that they're not even open to that, or they're dismissing you or gaslighting you. I mean, the list goes on. Find a new provider. We have the nation's largest menopause specific provider directory on our website. Go find somebody. And if you are in a healthcare desert and you don't have somebody who you can go to in person, there are many, many telehealth companies in this country who are meeting the needs of women virtually, whether that's Midi or Alloy or Evernow or Winona. There are a lot of them. Go find one of their providers. I mean, unfortunately, I think because so much of the system is broken, we will have to go outside of the system to find care until it changes. And it will. I mean, I think that women are a very big tail that will wag a very big dog because women control 80% of healthcare dollars. We're
Yeah,
the money. So
we are. We are the decision makers for our household.
yeah,
Mhm.
we're the decision makers for that, and we're the decision makers for health. So
Mhm.
take the money off the table for them and say, then I'm not playing your game, and take your chips off the table and go somewhere else. And I
Mhm.
think that that sends a very powerful message to the powers that be that women would like their health care prioritized.
Agreed. Agreed. That's such an important message. Let's pivot a bit because I do want to talk about this topic because I find, and it's what I coach on a lot, is around weight loss and the belly fat and the visceral fat that's starting to come on. And we could see that a lot of women will start to say, I see it, or I feel it in my clothes, or my cholesterol starts to go up, right? Like these are all markers of metabolically skewing towards unhealth. What are some tips that you find helpful for women as they're experiencing weight gain, particularly in that midsection? Because
Yeah,
we know it's due to the hormonal changes going on.
correct. And I think number one, Hot Paws Health was foundationally built because of our medical advisory board. They are the most brilliant women. They are in practice. They have hundreds of years of in-clinic experience. And we have their breadth and depth ranges from obesity medicine to sleep medicine to gastroenterology to, obstetrics and gynecology. And then we've layered upon that nutritionists, farm exercise and fitness and strength trainers, because all of those tools in your toolbox matter, right? And so I think when it comes to weight gain, which we so often hear is the one that just puts women over the edge. Like, I can deal with everything. I will suck up the night sweats. I will even go, I will have thinning hair, whatever. I'll deal with vaginal dryness. Like, okay, fine, low libido, whatever. I don't want to be I don't want to feel this way in my body anymore because of the weight, like, because I've done nothing differently. I'm eating the same. I'm
Yeah.
exercising the same. I do
Yes.
everything the same. I haven't changed anything. Number one, you are not alone. Like, let it go and take that self burden and shame and like resentment. Take it away. Just that's not good. There are many people like Dr. Sherry Prices in this world who can help you, and then a cadre of other providers in your tribe that can help you get there. So when we speak specifically around weight gain, one of our medical advisors, Dr. Dal Desai, is an obesity medicine specialist. And her recommendations are, you have to look at this comprehensively. This is a holistic approach. This is not just, oh, I gained 15 pounds. It's what's going on with you metabolically. What is your insulin looking like? Are you insulin resistant? How are your A1Cs? Let's look at your cholesterol. Like, is that going up? What's your visceral fat composition looking like? Visceral fat is not good. It's around your organs. It's fatty. It's not, it's bad. Again, remember that heart disease is the #1 killer of women in this country. And yet, cardiovascular risk, 80% of it can be mitigated by habit. So really, that's amazing. That's like, okay, well, if I can control 80% of it, that's huge. And there are people who have genetic, predispositions for cardiac issues, but 80% of it can be managed. So that's really powerful. So Dr. Desai talks holistically. Again, it's not just one thing that's going to, you're going to have caloric reduction and that's it. Like, go on a diet and eat SnackWells and Diet Coke. Like, long gone are the glory days of the early 90s, which were great, but we've changed since then. So she's going to walk you through, one, are GLP-1s an option for you? That's a big conversation these days. We have a lot of articles on Hot Pass Health about that. Whether or not you are a candidate for a GLP-1, check. What are you doing nutritionally? Like, that is a huge, what are you intaking into your body, and what's your body doing with that information, those proteins, all of those molecular compositions, like that actually matters. Exercise, what's working and what's not. Are you doing strength training? All those things. Your stress management, huge. What's your cortisol? Nobody needs to look at their cortisol levels. It can be really bad. Sleep, I mean, we talked about this. One of our medical advisors, Dr. Kinyuan, who's at UCSF, she is a leader in this country on women's sleep health. And she will tell you that if you want to lose weight, sleep better. We just did an article about it. And that relationship to weight gain and sleep is absolutely there.
So, absolutely. It's causative. It's not correlative, right? It's been shown. Yes.
Right. Like, this is exactly.
Right. It's not a question mark. It's a definitive.
Question mark. It's a definitive. And so I think when we talk about what can you do, there are a lot of things in your control: nutrition, exercise, sleep, mental health. Find a great therapist. Have somebody help you. I mean, you talked about your anxiety. You talked about your friends, onset of what I would call a depression or some sort of mood swing. It matters. Go get help with that. It does impact your weight. I mean, you're sitting, it's just no question. So I would say that there are many levers that you can pull.
Yeah.
They are all part of a holistic approach that I think oftentimes for women, it's like, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that, so I'm not going to do it. Or I'm going to do one thing, but I'm not going to do the other things. And I think if I had one message, it's prioritize yourself truly. And weight gain is one of those ones that you will have to invest in, because it won't be, there's no silver bullet, and especially in midlife. So be prepared to put yourself first, possibly for the first time in your life. And overall, it will impact your life. Weight impacts muscular, skeletal. Weight, if you're having joint pain, if you're having knee pain, which so many women have, weight matters. I mean, you probably know whatever the pound ratio is to the pressure on your knees in general. It's like, lose that weight, that visceral fat around your organs, cardiovascular risk. I wouldn't consider, again, it's not vanity, it's vitality. Think about your cardiovascular risks. Think about your type 2 diabetic risks if you're insulin resistant. Like, so many women are going through that. Cholesterol skyrockets, and women don't even know what they're doing because they haven't changed anything, and it's hormonal. So I think there are a lot of levers to pull. Get educated and prioritize yourself. Make time.
Yeah, and that's so important. I think we need to be realistic about that. And what you said is true. It's not one lever. And I think a lot of times a magic pill, a magic solution, a magic injection, a magic whatever that is promised, just be cautious, because if it was that simple, right, you probably would have accomplished it by now. And there are numerous levers, like you said, or pillars, I like to call them, that maybe weren't so important in your 20s and 30s, but now are absolutely imperative as you make this transition. And I know in my midlife metabolic health program, it's a whole makeover, because women call it a makeover because they're like, wow, I haven't looked at nutrition this way, and I haven't looked at sleep this way, and I haven't analyzed, my cortisol this way. And I offer cortisol testing because people may want to know that could be one of the levers that's really out of whack for you. Yeah. Once we get your cortisol lowered or in target, then the weight starts to move and off. And I love that you said it's just more than just diet and exercise, because I think for the longest time, particularly if you grew up when we did, That's what you heard, right? Diet and exercise. And, there's been campaigns around that and they have not been shown to be successful. So we really got to be honest and have the honest conversation with women about what will work. And it is much more than just two pillars. It's many more, including the sleep, the microbiome, I think is a
Yes.
significant impact. Having purpose in life. Some women, when they don't feel that purpose in life, man, the other pillars start to go downhill, the sleep. So they all feed each other in a way as well. And I think analyzing the all of those pillars is really helpful to understand yourself so that you get the results and the progress that you want.
100%.
Yeah. So as we wrap up this conversation, Melissa, I want to really ask, I know your intention of creating Hot Pause Health, and I think it's so magical that you have this one-stop shop, I'll call it. I don't know how you're going to talk about it, but would love to hear what inspired you to create this company and your mission for women.
Stacey and I founded it out of our own perimenopausal journeys. And
Mhm.
frankly, we didn't feel empowered and we didn't feel informed and we didn't feel educated. And I think, I mean, transparently, for two firstborn females, it's very hard to not feel in control and not have information and not feel like we were able to make decisions about our body. Really, really, I think important decisions about our bodies in a way that, the example we always give is pregnancy. I feel very empowered in my pregnancy. I read everything. I had incredible doctor's appointments. I had milestones. I knew, it's 40 weeks and there were really clear benchmarks of, while not linear, and while everybody has their own bespoke journey on pregnancy and you can sit in a room and everybody's gonna have a pregnancy or a birth story or whatever, it didn't feel that way going into perimenopause. And I felt crazy and I felt out of control. And I'm a creature who does not like to control. I like to feel as much in control as possible. And so we created Hot Pots Health for that reason. And the three pillars, if you will, that we felt like we needed really deep information about were what products worked,
Mhm.
right? What provider could help us on this journey? And again, it's not just going to be one in our minds. It wasn't one provider. It was a real kind of a deep bench of providers. I love my OBGYN. I also really love my acupuncturist. I know that I need a nutrition coach to help me make better decisions in terms of my eating, even though I know it. I would love that support. And then programs. What are the programs that are out there, whether it's exercise or mental health or sexual health? What things can we bolt on to help support this journey? So, providers, programs, and products are the three pillars that Hopaz Health has gone through and vetted in concert with our community. So, people peer review, they give suggestions, and then our medical advisory board, right? So much of why we brought together this group of medical advisors was because Stacey and I are not MDs, but we love people who are expert, who've done decades of training and decades of in clinic, which matters. It really matters. And so they are at the helm with us. And we wanted to create the digital front door for perimenopause and menopause for women to feel empowered, connected, and so that they could go back and make controlled decisions about how they wanted to live. And that really was the mission, ultimately, was to change this, last third, which feels great. And there is something to be said about wisdom and joy and being comfortable in your skin in your 40s. It feels good. It feels radically powerful when you get there. And I think a lot of women, and you and I started this before we started recording, but finding joy matters. And I think creating a life that you feel really, really good about matters. And so, how do you do that? And it will take time. And so, giving yourself the time to find those resources and the people who can help you, because it does take help. You wouldn't, think about if you have children, think about the number of people in your village that it took to do that. I think it's a similar paradigm for perimenopause and menopause.
Right. And I love that you're building this community around this important transition time of our life. And I'm with you. I love control, and that when I don't have the resources and you have to create them yourself and create the communities and create the spaces and create the conversations and create the safety for people to ask the questions and to explore and to get knowledge. and surround yourself with people who can help you through this important time when you do feel a little not like yourself or a little crazy. And to go around people who's like, are you my kind of crazy? Because I'm
Yeah.
feeling a little crazy and I'm not understanding. And really have that community and that support, because it's important for us women to share this. Share this with when we go through it, and then share it with others so that women coming up, the generations behind us, can gain this knowledge and this insight and know what to expect. It's kind of like that book. I read it when I thought of it when you were talking about pregnancy, what to expect when you're expecting. I said to my husband last month, I'm like, how come they don't have a book of what to expect during menopause? He goes, well, that's not such a sexy title. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's all about the title that's going to make it to sell. But like, I would love to know what to expect as you're going through menopause, a similar book, because it does help you get that sense of control and what you should be asking and what you should be doing and what, you're not going to experience every symptom like every other woman, but when you do experience it, where do you turn? Who's your board of directors? Who can you go to for this expert information? So thank you for creating this wonderful platform of all different providers, all different products, all different services for us women to feel seen and heard and really understand our bodies as we journey through.
Oh, thank you, Sherry. Thank you for everything that you are doing and putting voice to this and story. Again, I'm such a believer in language and sharing. I think it brings us back to, sitting around a campfire, being in our, village and talking. I think it really matters. And I think human connection matters possibly more than ever. So thank you.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Yeah, thank you, lady. Happy holidays, by the way.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to the Health Habits and Epic Living podcast. If you're ready to take the next step to improve your health, wellness, and lifestyle goals, head over to www.epicyou.com and sign up for my weekly newsletter. Again, that's EPICYOU.com. Please note that the information in this podcast is for educational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice.